everybody. My name is Erricka, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit about just about body image and the bullshit that body shaming is. So this is the body I was born in, and it looks, I know, right? So I like to start with, I'm going to go into just some things about my experience, about why we have to know that we are bigger than our bodies and that our bodies are just a tool to show us our essence. And so starting with that, I really love this concept, just knowing and trusting and believing that I am whole. And so sometimes I just like to stand in the mirror and just spread my arms out and look at how broken I look. And still just say, I am whole, I am complete, you know, because those are the days when I probably don't feel whole, when I don't feel like I'm enough. And what's funny about it is, all through my childhood, like when I was a little girl, I didn't think that there was anything wrong with having one hand. I thought it was the most special thing in the whole entire world. I didn't understand why y'all had all these extra fingers that y'all didn't need. You know, like, because I learned how to tie my shoe at 3, you know, and then as I got older, you know, like I can drive with one hand, you know. If my cell phone rings, I answer it and I nub drive. It's not really a big deal. I have 3 children. Nobody has died yet. You know, so like, you know, I realized that having one hand is not really a big deal to me, but it's a big deal to society. So like what we look like, generally, like when you were a little kid and you didn't know or care what you look like, you just thought you were fine. It's other people's reaction to what we look like that starts to send us messages about, well, if everybody's saying it, maybe there's some truth to it. And so we forget our own truth, you know, and our own beauty. And so I went from feeling like I was really awesome as a little kid to things happening where, as like, let's say when I was in middle school and high school, if a guy liked me and he saw me from somewhere far and then started walking toward me, once he realized that I had one hand, he might go and talk to one of my friends standing right beside me, you know, things like that. Or me being out in public and people just staring at me as I walk past, staring at my children, staring at their father, because he must be an awesome guy if he can walk with a handicapped girl, you know, like, and so just all, yay, she's back, you know, just all of people's labels, you know, of what made me start feeling like, well, maybe when I walk through a crowd, let me walk on this side, you know, so they'll see the long side that feels better. Because I felt like I would feel better if I walked on the long side. Or in the wintertime, I used to love, because then I could just let my sleeve hang down, you know, and before anybody really knew what was happening, I was already through the crowd anyway, you know. And as I got older, I realized that the happy girl that I was became this sad, pitiful, depressed girl. And I got to a point where I realized I didn't have a problem with having one hand, but I did have a problem with people's reaction to it. So I went and got my tattoo on this arm because I figured if everybody's looking at it, I might as well decorate the shit. And then that gave me courage to walk through the crowd on my right side, you know, so you could see. And so once I started realizing that it is not my problem, you know, and especially as I got older, people's reactions started changing some, but it was about my own confidence, you know. So when I was younger, you know, there's a difference between, you know, boys and men, because boys were like, oh my God, she got one hand, and men were like, yeah, but you got all 4 of your lips though, right? You know, like, long as everything, you got enough ass to make up for the hands, so, you know. And that's the thing about worrying about other people's perceptions, because the truth of the matter is, like, what I really care about is that I have enough booty. So, like, when I'm seeing other women with, like, flat butts, I'm like, okay, you got 2 hands, but I will take one hand. And you know, while y'all were in line getting hands and fingers, I was like, can I get some butt, you know? And so, as I got older, I had to even not take any pride or any finding my self-worth in what my body looked like, how fat my butt is, or how, what my stomach did or didn't look like. Or after I had 3 children and breastfed and my boobs were down ahead for a minute, I had an identity crisis, like, what happened to my boobs? But all of those things, when you are stuck at your worth being in your body, it limits you because the body is temporary. And the body is going to sag, and the body is not going to, you wake up and look in the mirror, and sometimes I'm in a really good mood, but there are bags under my eyes. Like, my body is not always a good representation of everything that I am. And so instead of me beginning and ending with my body, the truth of the matter is I am an essence that was here before I took this body and will be here long after this body is disintegrated into the earth. And that is where my true power is. That doesn't have limits. It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have fingers. It doesn't have, boobs and asses. Like, it doesn't have that stuff, and it doesn't care. Because it's not just enough. My essence is me, right? Literally, my essence is me, right? But then we have an outer understanding of ourselves. So I call it the difference between you and me. So you is your outer understanding of you. It is what you look like. It's the moods that you have that come and go. It's the experiences and things that you've gone through that you let those experiences define you. But me, if it's my essence, then my essence is way more powerful than any experience that comes along to try to break me, and it carries me through all of those experiences. And so now when I realize that I'm attracting something different because I believe something different about myself. So people are often like, oh, well, you walk around acting like you don't even have one hand. And it's because now, like, my body is my tool. My body is just a symbol and a message to me that no matter how broken I look, all the shit I can do. There's no way in the world I should be able to do everything I'm doing and to be able to feel all the ways I feel with the way society treats me and looks at me. My mother was telling me recently, my mother had me when she was 16. And so she went through, as a teenage mother, being judged. And this was 1972, and it wasn't like every teenager wasn't pregnant around her. It was like, mostly just her. And so here she is strolling this little handicapped baby around. So she got all of the looks and the judgment first. And when people look at you and they think there's something wrong with you, they look for somebody to blame. So she caught a lot of questions about, well, did she smoke while she was pregnant? And did she take drugs? And was she drinking? And she was very healthy all through her pregnancy. But she experienced a lot of what I was going to go through my entire life with people looking at her. So recently we were having a conversation, and she said that she loves me having a nub because I still am in a body that people look at me and automatically and say she can't. And so every time I do, it just makes her go, yeah, like, okay. And so I think that it's not about, that, oh, I learned to accept my nub, or I learned how to accept my fat stomach, or I think there's a man definitely trapped somewhere in my body. Men always are like, you act more like the man to me. I'm like, yeah, my dick hang a little bit to the left. Like, it really is the truth. And so, so it's not just that, there is a piece of it that you need to look in the mirror butt naked and be naked and unashamed sometimes. And just love the package that you are in. But beyond that, you have to find what's really you. You have to really find your essence that does not need, when your hands aren't working that good, when arthritis sets in, when, I'm 40 now, so it's some shit, like, I don't even know how my brain works half the time. I get in the car, I put the key in the seat belt sometimes, and I leave her, come in the room, and I'm like, okay, what was I in here for? So if I was limited by just what my body is able to do and what my body looks like, I would stay in the house half of the time thinking, there's nowhere in the world I can face all of the injustice in the world, all of the prejudice in the world, all of the things all of the energy people are going to try to send me. And I used to blame two-handed people, like, oh, they think they the shit, and they think it's all of that, and it's their fault that I'm miserable and sad. And the truth of the matter is, I was attracting the people who could only see my nub, because that's how I defined myself. I defined myself as people's opinions when they look at me. But as I started learning what my essence is and how powerful that is, it not only made me feel better about me, but now it makes people walk up to me and say, it took me a minute before I even realized you had one hand, because all I saw was your light. All I saw was your, like, this little package of, like, you know, and it draws people to me who are going through the same thing. So you can't look at everybody and see what their issues are. You know, you can look at me and say, oh, she probably went through a lot of shit walking around with that hand, you know, that nub her whole life. But you can't see everybody's issues and what they don't like about the package that they're in. But when you show up just trying your best, loving your essence, loving who you are, it gives you a community of people who are suddenly attracted to you, who will pull you aside and say, you know what, I go through the same thing. You know, with my pouch, with my, you know, I don't have enough boobs, or my hair's nappy, or, you know, whatever it is that they are going through. And it makes you not feel so alone, you know? And so that's the whole reason I started doing inspirational speaking, is because I realized I don't have it all together yet. I'm not all, you know, there yet. But that's in my body and in my temporary state. But in my power, I show up doing things that are way bigger than what my body is supposed to be doing. And it's not just me. Something else I like about, so I suggest that you look at your body and whatever your insecurities are about it, and you find out what is the lesson in it. You know, when you go into your why me, why would I be the one in that, right? When you ask why me, really pay attention to the answers. So when I do my why me's about my nub, I realize that, well, first of all, anybody who is going to ride with me, be my friend, be my lover, be anything close to me, they have to know their worth as well. Like, you can't walk beside me in the mall, because you're going to get looks. You're going to get stares. So you need to be strong enough, you know, that you can handle all of those things. The why me is to help me see everything I can do, although I look broken. The why me of having one hand is about finding out that I can kiss this nub like, mwah, you know? And it is a beautiful thing. All the lesbians are looking at it like, yeah, that can probably you know, you know, so the why me is like, because like men try to get me, women try to get me. I'm like all the time. And I just eat it up. Like, oh yes, you know. And so, I think that we gotta just find the lessons in whatever our package is and whatever our struggles are. And we have to share those lessons, because it's not just you going through it. You aren't the only one who feels like you're not enough. You're not the only one who wonders why all of this stuff is happening to you. And so I would like for all of us to do it together. Everybody can stand up real quick. So I want you to just close your eyes and hold your hands out straight to your sides, or your appendages if you don't have hands. Hold your appendages out and just feel how your body, it is connected to the earth, it is connected to the stars and the moon. You feel that wind blowing on your skin, kissing you, because you are so beautiful. Feel your oneness and your connection with the universe. But then pay attention to that part of you who's watching your body. You know, who has compassion for your body and all the things that it goes through. The silent watcher that really is you. Tap into that. And then out loud say, I am whole.
I am whole.
I am complete.
I am complete.
I am enough.
I am enough.
Now let's try it one more time like we really, really mean it. Ready? I am whole.
I am whole.
I am complete.
I am complete.
I am enough.
I am enough.
Now turn to somebody. This is where we do church, right? So turn to somebody and look them in their eye. Make eye contact. And tell them you are whole.
You are whole.
You are enough.
You are enough.
You are complete.
You are complete.
Find somebody else. Find somebody else. Find somebody else.
are enough.
You are complete.
You are enough.
Very good. Give yourselves a hand clap. Woo! Woo! This is the last. You can sit down if you want to, or you can keep standing. So the last little thing, I always have like just little songs and little mantras in my own mind. So one last thing that I'm going to leave you with. So just on purpose, when you feel like you're not enough or you're not whole, just remind yourself that you really are, because you don't start and end where your body is. You are, and so use your body as a tool. Don't let your body blow you around with everywhere. So that's one thing. The second thing I want to leave you with is there's this song where this guy is singing, she rocking that shit like, ooh, right? And that's what I do. Every time somebody's like, oh, she got one hand, I'm like, yup, and I'm rocking that shit like, right? So whatever it is about you, right, you gotta take whatever you have and rock that shit. Fuck whoever don't like it, whoever don't understand it, whoever's like, oh, she is too big to be wearing that, she is too skinny to be wearing that, and I'm rocking that shit like all day, no matter what they try to bring you. All you have for yourself is not acceptable, whatever they have for you. All you have for yourself is your truth and how fucking fly you are, and that is all that's allowed in your space. I'm done.
And when she comes back, we'll start passing out the pieces so that we can actually converge on this section.